All right. See no reason why we can't knock out another episode of Aunt Barb's Magic Oven, a book I wrote. We're up to, I think let me look here, 51. Wow. Have you ever tried to write a big long story? It's kind of fun to do. I highly recommend it. You got to kind of look at it as a long-term project. Don't tell yourself, "Hey, I'm going to do it in a week." You allow a little bit of time every day, and you'd be surprised. Next thing you know, gee, you've written it. Yeah, a little bit at a time, and that way you sort of think the next day. You do one segment one day, and then you're thinking, well, now tomorrow, what will I have the hero do? Or what will happen? Where will the villain, quote unquote, come in? That kind. Yeah, it's kind of yeah it keeps your head occupied. I find you don't watch much television as a result. Yeah, because you're too doggone busy thinking. Oh my gosh. I know when I did this story, I just kind of lay down somewhere and just kind of let my imagination go. And also, I found that a lot of times early in the morning, just as I'm waking up, the ideas came quite often, and I'd real quick try to write them down before I go and forget them. I do have to keep like some paper and a pen on me at all times. And yeah, that way if I get an idea, even if I'm in the dairy aisle, I'll just stop at the supermarket. I'll write down there you go, God. Oh, now I won't forget it. Then a day or so later, gee, where was that idea I had? And I look at whatever I wrote. I don't know what I was talking about. So I got to write a note for the note. Right. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Let's get this one, chapter 51. This one entitled, again, Aunt Barb's Magic Oven. Today's episode, Gabe Saves the Day. This would have been a good radio serial. Yeah, how they used to have, there'd be a little segment each day. And of course, each segment ended with the hero falling off a cliff to the jagged rocks below. And, but tune in tomorrow for the thrilling. And then when you finally get there, yeah, he lands on a mattress. Yeah, the next day, yeah, perfectly fine. Yeah. No. Anyway, in this case, this is kind of a nice little segment. And let me get going here. Okay, Gabe saves the day. Gabe was floating behind us. While we looked like heads in a bubble, the kids and I, he just looked like he did back at the Thanksgiving Day feast. He was wearing his usual go-to-business brown hat, his brown coat and tie, and his usual big old grin. I said how it was good to see him and said I'd shake hands if I had any. Again, remember, the kids and I were still bubbleheads. The kids weren't too sure of what to make of Gabe. Sonny spoke first. Why aren't you a bubblehead like us, she asked. Sonny wanted to know how anyone could be up here in space, outer space, far distant outer space, without at least a spacesuit. Gabe told them that he was an angel. Burgess figured out loud that angels had wings and halos and robes and stuff and didn't walk around in schoolteacher suits. Sonny agreed, shaking her head yes. Gabe simply smiled and grew some wings as a flowing robe fell over his shoulders. Then he lifted his fingers and went click as he pretended to pull on a light cord. With that, a halo lit up around his head. Gabe had short brown hair, but all of a sudden, he normally had short brown hair, but all of a sudden, his hair grew out long and blonde. With that, he folded his hands and sang aloud and very high-pitched, wah-ha, like that. Yeah. The kids rolled in their bubbles laughing. Gabe smiled back at them and laughed too as he explained. No, kids, yeah, I just go around in a nice school teacher suit. Angels can look any way they want, but in reality, we mostly look like this. And that said, he became a glowing circle of white light. He said, this is, what we really look like. He said that said, he became a glowing circle of white light with many rays of solid light, coming from the center, backed by flowing chain links of luminescent gold strands. The only thing we could see in the brightness of the center disk was very large eyes. His entire real body out in space was at least 40 to 50 feet in diameter. The kids were impressed. Gabe switched back to teacher suit mode and smiled. So what do you think, kids? Do I pass the test? Burgess asked if we had to kneel and pray now. Gabe said that, well, he'd be fine with a simple smile. The kids handed out a few of the many smiles they had to spare. Sonny asked Gabe if he was Gabriel, one of the big shot angels. No, that's the actual word she used. Yeah, big shot. The kids, huh? Yeah. Gabe answered that indeed he was not that Gabriel. He told the kids that lots of angels were called Gabriel. It was a pretty common name. He went on to say that some angels actually had the name Sunshine or Sunny, and more than enough went with the name Burgess, which means free man. He didn't know of too many called Messer. I told the kids how Gabe had asked me to help with today's big Thanksgiving Day event. Messer said how he loved the parade. The dinosaurs pooping in front of the marching bands made his day. He wanted the dinosaurs to lead the parade next year. That got us all laughing and snorting until the roar of engines and the sound of gunfire and bullets whizzed by, drowning out our moment of glee. Bullets in interstellar space, I thought. What the heck? I know it sounds crazy, but a whole mess of Messerschmitts, Japanese Zeros, American Thunderbolts, and Corsairs flew by us with their engines howling. We could hear the pilots yelling at each other and laughing. One of the voices was that of my father. Sonny and Burgess looked at me with their eyes all wide and mouths open. Kids might read this story someday, so for the sake of decency, I'll refrain from revealing the vile language in use by each and every pilot, up to and including the old man. Other than that, this skirmish was giving them the time of their lives. I guess that sometimes cussing and fighting can be fun. I don't think I've ever heard my father so happy. Well, there you are. We'll go with the next chapter. Most likely tomorrow, friends. Okay, there you are. Okay, God bless. Bye now.